Hello dear students, welcome to the lecture 5 of Introduction to Programming course. Let's start with a recap of our previous lectures. I have purchased a professional microphone, so I am hoping that from now on my voice will be much more clear and smooth. And I have also purchased a new sound card, and I am waiting it to arrive. After the new sound card arrives, I hope that the sound will be even better. Okay, so in the previous lecture, lecture 4, we have started delving into arrays. We have shown how to define a single array, change the values of arrays, iterate through arrays, and access the certain index of arrays. And then we have defined multidimensional arrays and iterated through multidimensional arrays. Uh, so when watching videos, when watching the lecture, if you are not able to keep the pace, pause video and then watch again. Okay, take some time backwards and then watch again. Also, please type every coding here yourself. Don't copy paste from our GitHub repository. Type each line yourself. This will improve your coding significantly. Believe me, you definitely need to write every piece of code here yourself, not copy paste from the code we upload to our GitHub repository. So we have seen single dimensional arrays. We have seen how to define multidimensional arrays like this. Okay, so let's start with a new project. Console app.NET Core. Let's pick up our folder. I have also composed a Discord channel so that you can ask your questions. Ask the parts that you didn't understand or you are having hard time to understand. Don't hesitate. Ask anything related to our course so you can learn it. Okay. So let's start defining some single multidimensional array. Then we will compose a jagged array. So first we type the uh, type the type of the uh, object that we want to use as the array type. So this way I have defined an array of integers. Okay, integer is a struct type, and I am writing the name of my array. So this is single dimensional array. It will be integer, and I am going to set some values into it directly. Okay, I have to put also this without square brackets. It cannot know you are defining an array. You see now the dimension of now the let's say capacity of this array is 5. So I can change any member of this array by accessing it through an index. So if I access the index 3 and set it 100, which number here will be set it as 100? It will be this, because index always start from 0, 0. And what if I want to increase size of capacity of this array? My only way is defining a new array from it. I think we have shown this in the previous lecture, but I will show you again. So I am to keep values of this, I need to compose a copy array. Okay, like this. Uh, okay, array, source array, destination array. Okay. So first I'm making like this, then like this. Okay, it will give an error that use of unsigned local variable. So first I have to initialize it. However, the size of this I need to determine it, and for that I'm going to use length. Since this is single dimensional array, I can use it as okay, like this. Okay. So, and the start index, the length, or what else, long length. So how many element I want to it to copy, like this. So now that I will have a copy of this array, let me show you. Okay, before my array is initialized, it will be just null. You see, arrays become class. Therefore, they are by default null. Okay, and then you see now it has 5 elements. So I am assigning index 3 like this. Then I am going to compose an empty array with same size. Okay, then I copy the array to that one. Okay, so now I have temporary array and my original array. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinitialize my original array as with a new size. So now it will be 100, and then I can copy back my original array from temporary array, and this time I will use the length of this, and let's check it out. So now my original array is copied to newly initialized array like this. Okay, so this is single array, single dimensional array, and let's make an example of two-dimensional array. Then I will make example of jagged array. So this is single dimensional array. As I put commas inside it, the dimension increases. Okay, so now this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dimensional array, and let's say I can define it as like this. Okay, And so let's say the first dimension will be 3 as twice, second dimension will be 5, the third dimension will be 10, fourth dimension will be 20, and the fifth dimension will be 50. So how many different values this array can hold, do you think? It is simple. It is the product of each dimension. So it will be 3, 10, 20, and 50, which is equal to, let's quickly calculate it with a calculator. You see 150,000. And let's also get it by programmatically. You see now this has no special meaning. This is treated as a part of string. When I put dollar value in front of it, it becomes like this. However, this is only supported after certain version of C Sharp. If your .NET Framework version is not supporting it, you cannot use it. Currently, we are working with the latest version, therefore it supports it. And when I say length, it will get me the entire length. Okay, so let's run the application. Okay, as you can see, the dimension size is 150,000. Let's also format it a bit. Okay, now it is 150,000. What if I want to change some display settings of the console? I can make it like console color. There are console features here. So let's set the foreground color. Okay, equal to, before typing that, console color, I will say red. Let's run it and see how it looks. Okay, you see the entire foreground color has become uh, red, and there is also background color. And I will make it um, dark blue. And let's see how it looks. Okay, you see now the background color of the text is dark blue and the console color is red. The text of the color of the text is red. I'm going to just comment this out, and you can set different colors for every different text, and then I'm going to uh, write some more things. Color green, and let's say so let's get the length of the first dimension. So how do I do that? I make it like, I think it was by rank, if I remember correctly. Okay, not rank. Let's remember it from our lecture 4. You see, we can also Okay, get length. Forget the method names, and as a software engineer, you don't have to memorize everything. You just need to know what to look for and where to get it for. Okay, so this will be the first dimension of length of the first dimension. Then I'm going to set the color as green, and let's change another color. Let's make it this time uh, magenta, and length of the third dimension. In this case, it should be 2. You see, I am every time using index-based numbering. So 0 is being the first, and 2 is being the third, actually. Okay, you see color red, color green, and the rest is magenta. So you can also colorize the uh, console like this. We can also set some, let's say, font size, cursor size. Let's try to find it. Okay, there are some other properties. Let's say, I'm not sure if we can set the font size from here. I will try cursor size. Go to, let's say, 24. Let's see if it makes any difference. Okay, only the cursor size is now bigger. You see, this is the cursor when I click. Okay, let me check the internet, whether we can find how to change a font size. Okay, looks like it is not that easy to change font size. Anyway, there are methods coded for it. Methods coded for it. So let's change another feature attribute of the console. We can hide the cursor if we want. For example, false. Let's see. Now the cursor will be hidden by default, I believe. And let's make it true to see the difference. Okay, cursor is blinking right now, as you can see here. It is at the end of the text, and when it is false, it is invisible, as you can see. No cursor is blinking, and let's make it true. We can change the, I think, console height, and okay, there is window height and window width. I'm going to make the height 1000 and width 190, and let's make it another thing. another dimension. Okay, and then let's set it as, okay, let's try it. By the way, I need to put a console read here. Oh, we got an error here. So I don't know the solution of this error, and I am checking the Google. As you can see, Stack Overflow has come as first answer. Oh, so we can't set bigger than the largest, I see. Okay, console height is specified in rows, lines, not the pixels. Okay, I see. I see. So this is about lines, not the pixels. Therefore, I am going to set it as like this, and then I am going to set it as 10 by 10. So we will start with largest window and then we will go to the 10. Okay, so as you can see now I can hover it to do lots of lines, and when I hit something and enter, now it is 10 line, you see, 10 10 columns here and 10 rows here. So the remaining text is now invisible. Okay, when I resize it, it becomes default. To make it, let's say, more understandable, I am going to make it like, first I am going to set it to 100. Okay, before doing this, I am going to type some numbers to the screen. To do that, I'm going to use for loop. So I have typed for, and for snippet has arrived. Then I am double tapping, so the snippet has put the for loop structure. Then I'm going to just change the length to 1000, and then I will just type I on the screen. So when I hit a button to make the console size 100, you will see the difference. Okay. Okay, as you can see now, we can see 1000 rows, and it has 100 columns as well. When I hit a key and hit enter, oh, okay, looks like the height cannot be 100. Let's say 20 columns. Oh, by the way, I have to put a read line here. That's why it has given an error before I do anything. Okay, now I'm going to hit a button and hit enter. Okay, looks like 50 is also too big for column size. And let's hit something. Okay, now I will see that um, oh, the row size still remains. Interesting. So the previous rows are not deleted, but probably the new rows is not visible. Anyway, so there are some attributes of console window that you can use. I'm going to uh, set a new program starting like this. Or let's take this into a new method. Okay, I'm going to take all of this into a new method. Currently we were in the main method, and now I'm going to write a new method, and I'm going to say it uh, lecture. We will see more about method calls in the future. So you see now this is a method like this one, and when I call this method like this, it will be called. Okay, so when I run, we will see the same process that we were seeing at the beginning of the lecture. Okay, you see everything is working as same. However, if I comment this or either return to here, it will be not running as before. So I am starting it. You see now empty because this method is not called anymore. And I will show you jagged arrays. We will see more about methods in future, so don't uh, push yourself about understanding method calls and how to write methods. So we have seen the single dimensional arrays, multi-dimensional arrays, and there is one more array type which is jagged arrays, and it is written like this. So what is the difference of jagged array? By the way, we cannot define jagged arrays like this. I think it is defined like this. So when I do this, it will give me error. So what is the difference of jagged array? With jagged arrays, it is actually an array of arrays. Okay, so let's make two comparison. Okay, so this is a two-dimensional array, and this is a jagged array. Okay, so when I run the application with a breakpoint, so that I can look their values. So the two-dimensional array is initialized like this. You see the first dimension and the other dimensions, and the second dimension and the other dimension. Okay, you see. So this is a matrix actually. And when I hover the jagged array, I see 32 arrays which are null. Okay. So with jagged array, I can define each array size differently. What I mean is, let's make a for call. 0. Okay. And I'm going to write a now random and I will initialize each array inside Jigit array like this. Let's make the size between 1 and 100. Okay, so I'm going to put another breakpoint to debug and see. Okay, so my jacket array is being looked like this. So you see each one of these are an array, but they are null. They are not initialized yet. Here they are initialized and they have same size for all the arrays. So I'm going to step over. You can click this or click F1. Okay. So first we are going to modify the zero indexed array, which is null. And when I click next, okay, now it is integer 88. So this is an array that has 88 elements. Okay. So next. Okay, so we have initialized the second array. It is 75. Third array, it is 83, and so. And when I have removed the breakpoint here by clicking on it, and then I am going to, when I hover my mouse here, this appears, and when I click this run execution to here, now it will be all initialized. You see, they are all different sizes of arrays. So this is Jagged array, and maybe there is a better explanation. Okay, there is some good answer. I'm going to get it right.
A jagged array is an array of arrays, so an int is an array of int, each of which can be of different lengths and occupy their own block in memory. A multidimensional array int is a single block of memory, essentially a matrix. You can't create a myClass 10, 20 because each subarray has to be initialized separately, as they are separate objects.
You see, this answer is also showing what I have shown to you. Okay.
A myClass 10, 20 is okay because it is initializing a single object as a matrix with 10 rows and 20 columns.
Okay, you could also define it like this. Okay, there is another important thing.
Bear in mind that the CLR is heavily optimized for single-dimension array access, so using a jagged array will likely be faster than a multidimensional array of the same size.
So you see, jagged array access is faster than a multidimensional array. We could also define a jagged array like this. Let's say, and the third one will be multidimensional array. And the fourth one will be another multidimensional array. Okay, so array version 2. How am I going to define this? I'm going to define it exactly like other ones, like this, and is this. Okay, so I have basically first initialized the first array that will hold another array, and that array will hold another multidimensional array, and that one will hold three-dimensional array. So what I can do is, let me show you a single example. I'm going to initialize the third object of the array as like this. let's make it 10. And I have to use this and this. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is access the fourth element like this and initialize this. How am I going to do that? I'm going to do that as like this. New int. Let's make it two-dimensional, and then this. This can be really confusing. Actually, I have never used jagged arrays previously because I didn't need to. And you see, it is becoming more confusing and harder to understand as we progress. And then I am going to access fun1 and initialize it as name int. This time only the last element. Let's make it 5 or 3. So let's look from the debug window to understand if we can. Each dimension is separately initialized. So you see first the fourth element of the first array is initialized, then the fifth element of that array is initialized, then the fourth element of that array is initialized, and we are at the last dimension. This is three-dimensional array. So this is possible, and it is really confusing, and I don't suggest you to try use it at the beginning. This is some expert level. Also, it is harder to read. However, if you work in future with such cases, you can use jagged arrays. I'm going to put this answer here as well. I think it's a great question. Let me put it here. Okay. Let's say you need a higher performance and you need optimization, you may use jagged array instead of multidimensional arrays. Okay, so with arrays, the size is static. We cannot change it without initializing it, or we cannot remove elements from the array with arrays. Okay, I can't make the array size reduction or increasement. What I mean is, let's say is 3, 5, 11, 12. Are these possible? No. I can only change existing elements of the array. So what I can use instead, yeah, maybe we can call them as dynamic arrays or not. Let me check that if we can call it. I don't know if this definition. Okay, there is generic list. Oh, okay, I think we can call it. So there is list object, list class, which is this. You see, list is from class system collections generic list, and it gets T object, which means you can use any object type with lists. Okay, and for list definition we also we open uh, let's say arrows like this, and we type the type of the list like this. Okay, and then I initialize it. Okay, so currently list is not found in my uh, domain because I haven't added its reference. Therefore, it is underlined as red, and when I click show potential fixes, it says me that add using systems collection generic, and it is added here. I could also type it myself. So now list class is available to my usage. Okay, so what does this do? This has initialized a list which is empty at the beginning. However, I can add or remove as many as items I want to it. Okay, so when I hover it, you will see that it has 0 elements. Okay, this is a single dimensional list. And by the way, with list there is no dimension. It can be list of lists. Okay, so I'm going to take a pause. Okay, so lists. With lists, we can add or remove any item we want. To do that, I am just using the add method of the list, and you see it takes an item which is integer type because the list is defined as integer type. So I can add the same items like this. The list will be hold these items with the added order. So what I mean is, let's put a breakpoint here and start the application. Okay, so the list is, as you can see, empty right now. It has 0 items, but it is not null because we have initialized it with new method. And you see, after I have added the first number, now it is having one value which is 3 at the first index, 0. Then the second number has arrived as index 1, 5, and the third number is now in the index 2, which is 11, and the 12. Then I can remove any item I want like this, remove, and you see type the item name, it says, and it removes the first occurrence of specific object. So this will remove only the first occurrence of the item because we can add multiple times the same item. And when I say remove, let's also add here 5, it will remove the 5 at the index 1 because it is the first occurrence. And let's try it. So let's look at the list. You see 3, 5, 11, 12, 5, 3, and after the removal it is 3, 11, 12, 5, 3. So you see the 5 at the first occurrence is deleted and all other values indexes are updated. Okay, then I can also remove by index remove at Okay. So you see, with this way, I can provide the index and directly remove any value I want. I am going to provide index of the last element, last element. So how am I going to do that is count minus 1. Since the count shows how many elements it contains, I subtract 1 from it to calculate the final index, the final object's index. And let's try it. So this will be basically providing 4 as an index, because the currently indexes are like here, this index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, and this will be providing 5 minus 1, which is 4. And when we do that, now you can see 3, 11, 12, 5. Okay. There are also some other methods of lists. Actually, there are many methods. You see count, guess the number of elements in the list. There is also to array. We can turn this into an array. Cool. So, alternatively, you can use var keyword, which will compose this dynamically. Okay. You can use var keyword for many things. It will automatically understand what will be the type. When I hover it, you see it is integer array. Okay. So the Visual Studio automatically understood that this is integer array. And let's run the application to see. Okay, you see now it is array that has 4 elements, and this is also an array that has 4 elements. Okay, so you can use var keyword for anything. Okay, then what other functions we have with the lists? Okay, all of these are the methods of list class. You see to array, add, count, clear, add range. We can also add range and add another list to the this list, like this list integer. Okay, so here I am defining a new list like this, and I am going to add 100, 200, and 300. So this will add multiple items at once to my existing list. Let's check it out. Okay, so my list currently has 4 items. After this step, you see the new items added to the end of the list. Okay. And I could also make it like this, add range, and I can provide itself as a new list, and I can also compose. Okay, like this, and I can use add range like this. So let's put a breakpoint to step by step. By the way, if we are going too fast right now, at the home, please pause the video and type yourself. I have to go faster here, But at the home you can pause video and write yourself every line of the code, which would be much more efficient and better for you. Okay, after this will be added. Okay, you see now I am going to add itself to itself, basically duplicating. Okay, now you see it has added itself to itself. Then I'm going to add this list. Okay, this is a list of 4 items, then they will be added as a range. Okay, now they have added to the end of the list, and then we can use we can get the capacity of the list, guess or set the total number of elements the internal data structure can hold without resizing. These are more advanced stuff that you don't need. We can use clear method, which will clear the entire list, and I will show you the contains method, which is very useful. By this we can check that whether that item exists in the list or not. For example, let's check if the list contains 200 or not, and then type to the console. And I'm going to append bool like this. Then let's make another check. Okay, before here I'm going to put a breakpoint. Okay, now let's look at the screen. You see it is containing 200, therefore the result is true. It is not containing 2010, therefore it is false. Okay, so you can use the contains method, you see. And what more methods that we can utilize? And there is copy to method, like previous one. Okay, let's make a copy to method. Okay, copy to is okay. The copy to method is, as you can see, void. Therefore, we have to have the other list ready and initialize it. Okay, so the copy to method is taking, let's check the which parameters it is taking. It can take an array, integer array, okay. It can take an array and array index, and it can take index, array index count. So the copy to method copies only into an array, therefore this will not work. And so I'm going to make it as by the way, when you make copy or such, it will overwrite the previous values. Let me show you. For example, my list is containing these numbers, and when I use copy to method, this array will be reinitialized. Let's try it. Okay, it says destination array was not okay, so it is not reinitializing, but it is just updating the values. Okay, so what I need is I need to initialize this one as the same size of the existing list. I wonder if will this work. Okay, this works. Then, okay, so let's try it. Okay, this time it worked. As you can see, the entire array is copied. Okay, what other methods there are? Okay, there is find. Searches for an element that matches the condition defined by the. These are more advanced things. For there is for each, find all, find index. All of these are extremely useful methods. Index of, insert range, remove all, remove range. For example, we can use remove range, and with remove range we can remove the items starting from the third item and remove two items. Okay, so let's see which items are it is removing. Okay, currently the third item, actually this is starting from the third index, so it will remove fourth item here. So the 5 and 100 will be removed here. Let's check it out. Okay, as you can see, 5 and 100 is removed. So it has removed starting from the index 3 and 2 items. So index 3 and index 4 has been removed. Okay. Okay, I will show the other methods as well. And okay, there is a reverse method which reverses the entire list. Okay, so let's check it too. Okay, so it is 3, 11, 12, 200, 300 and this way. And when we call the reverse method, the entire list is reverse ordered, as you can see. When you check these methods, look at the return type. So this is void. That means it is reverses the order within that list. It doesn't return a new list. Okay, you see this is also void. So the void method means they don't return any value. Okay, you see these are all void. Okay, then what else we can use? Okay, there are many methods that can be combined with LINQ, which we will be see in future. You see these are all LINQ methods. Okay, let me check. Okay, which further useful things that are I am checking. Okay, we can also use sort method, which will sort by ascending. After sorting by ascending, if you reverse the list, order. So I am going to put a breakpoint here, and when we sort the list, you see now it is sorted by ascending, and when we reverse the list, you see it is becoming sorted by descending. Okay, so this is a methodology that you can use. Lists are extremely important, fundamental part of C# programming language. Actually, they are fundamental part of every programming language because we use the lists uh, in many cases, in many methods. Okay, there is remove all, remove. If you use remove all, it will use a predicate int match, removes all the elements that match the conditions defined by the specified predicate. Okay, so I think we can, or let's say 5. So this way, I am telling that remove every element that is bigger than 5. Let's try will it work or not. Okay, the list is currently has, you see, 3, 3, 5, 6, 7, and when I remove it, only 3, 3 should left, and the 5. Okay, you see, 3, 3, and 5 is left. So with a predicate, with a condition, we can remove. This is LINQ lambda expression. We will see them in the future. However, you can get an idea. By the time as you practice and try to solve your problems, you will start to understand programming. Currently, you may not be understanding anything because programming is seriously hard, literally hard. You have chosen a hard profession. However, as you know, the current job opportunities, programming is the future. So if you can be a good software engineer, you can get the top salaries, you can get the top payment. However, it requires you to use your brain a lot, requires too much experience, requires too much practice. So this is definitely not an easy job. Okay, and let's see what more options we have. There is capacity and count. Okay, it is some advanced stuff. Okay, there is exist method. Exist method works like remove all. We can check exist method predicate like returns true if and returns false. Okay, here. Okay, so this will return true. I will use the boolean here, and this will return false because my predicate is equal, which means if a parameter is equal to 5, any parameter inside this list, it will return true. If not, it will return false. This is meaning that exists. Okay, this is true because the list currently has 5, and this is false because the list currently doesn't have 15, and okay, what else we have? We have shown sort, remove to array. Okay, to array is working same way. There is to string. However, we have to use certain index. We can also access certain index of lists, same as arrays. Okay, by the way, I have just jumped the definition of this. To do that, I have clicked Control and left clicked that object. And alternatively, you can use right click and go to definition. It will both work same way. So to see the definition of an object, you can right click and go to definition, or you can right click, pick definition, and it will show you the definition of that object here. And when we click go to base, no symbol. Okay, go to implementation goes there as well. Okay, so I can change the any value of that list like this, or I think there may be, okay, there is no replace, there is convert all. This is also an advanced stuff, so I will just pass it. Okay, there is also for each, and okay, this is also advanced stuff. However, we can use a list like this item, and we can use console write line like this. This will iterate through to all list elements at that moment. Okay, you see they are iterated, and every item is printed with this line. Okay, and okay, we can also use trim access, and it takes this is not a simple stuff. Okay, just ignore it for now. Okay, there is also link queue, which are extremely useful. However, at the moment they are advanced for you. Okay, so we can continue our lesson. I'm going to take notes of what we have shown so far. So we have shown uh, uh, copy and how to style console window and okay, these are quick explanations that we have shown. Okay, we have okay. Okay, so we have shown the lists and the following methods of the lists, which are add, remove, add, and to array, and add range, and contains, and copy to remove range, copy to remove range, reverse sort. and remove all exists and clear. Okay. Okay, so let's do example of for each, do, and while loops again to understand them better. So for loop. For is an iterative loop uh, that continues until satisfy a condition. To understand that, first let's work with if. So if is a condition checker. Okay. If x is something, then the result is true. Or if a condition is met, then the result is true. Inside if, we can write logical uh, comparisons. For example, let's say I have two numbers, int a equal to 12 and b equal to 20. So I can compare them with the following ways. Okay, if e equal to b. By the way, this is case sensitive, therefore you have to write exactly as it is. Okay, so this is equality operator. As you can see, bool int operator equal. It checks whether integer a is equal to integer b. So we can, if this condition is true, it will enter inside this scope. If it is not true, we can say that else. Okay, this is a scope uh, defining for if and else. Let's say if and else structure, we can perhaps call that way. So b, and if not that way, I can write as okay. So this is an if structure. There can be more operators we can use. For example, if a is bigger than b. Okay, then b. If not, we can say that a is not bigger than b. However, can we say that if it is equal or not? We can do that like this way. If bigger or equal. Okay, so this means bigger or equal. Bigger or equal. This is bigger, and this is equality. So we can say that a is bigger than or equal b. A is not bigger than or equal to b. Okay. So what else we can use? We can check the int operators. Let's find it. Okay. Let's find the English version. Okay. So Boolean logical operators. There is unary operator. Okay, let me show you unary operator as well. There is and, or, exclusive or, And so, okay, let's see operators. Okay, this is AND operation, logical XOR. Okay, this is a good example. First, I will make it like this. Then I can also assign this result to a boolean. Okay. Cool, to like this. Okay. And how am I gonna do that? I'm gonna do that like this. Cool to true. Else we can write the else like this, false. Okay, then I can use like this. If boolean result true, and I can use like this. This means that if this is not true, this is equal to this. Let me show you. So this line equals to above if check. Okay, these are same, and this means that if so this means basically okay. Okay, so I am showing again. This means if our variable is false, and this is also means if our variable is false, because this is called as, I think, unary logical negation operator. Okay. Uh, okay. So this makes it the reverse. If it is true, if it means if it is false, or if it is false, it means if it is true. So also this is means if boolean is true, boolean variable is true, and this is also same if boolean variable is true. If okay. And here it means if a bigger than b. This can be also written as like this. You see, you don't have to put curly brackets if the assignment is only a single line. I think it is written like this. Let me check that. Yes. Okay. And what other operations there are? I am going to put a link to here. Okay. And there is also location negation. Okay, it is written here. Let me copy paste it so we can have more idea. Same though. So this was clear, and I'm going to use console clear here. Okay. And you see these are all logical operations. Let's say I am defining a boolean which is false. If that boolean is false, it will output true, and if the boolean is false, it will true, it will output as false when I use what? When I use a logical negation. And there is logical AND operation, and which is like this, or perhaps make it like this. True, true, true. Let's make it. By the way, you can define multiple same type of variable like this, you see. So, right line and false. Okay. So let's see what will this output. And okay, to be able to use that way, I have to take them into the parentheses. Okay. And there is also another logical operator, which is this one. This is called as AND operator, logical AND operator. And this is called as logical OR operator. And there is also XOR operator, logical XOR. Okay, we'll take it into a command line. Okay, and what else there is? There is AND operator. Let's try that as well. I think we can use this to see. Conditional logical AND operator. I think I will use this for that example. True and true, true and false. Let's check the output ourselves. I think we can use this for everything. Okay, let's use it for everything. So it should be easier to understand. Okay, true and true. Then true and false. I think we can make it even for loop, but let's just make it this way. Then false and false, or false and true. And then false and false. Yeah, this should be a better explanation. Okay, this is exclusive OR operator. This will be AND operator. Okay, let's make each of them as an example to see their outputs. You can use these operators with other variable types as well if they are supporting it. Okay. So this is not only exclusive to Boolean variables. Okay, there is this and there is logical OR. Okay, then conditional and. It is important to understand what does each of them do. Okay. And then conditional logical OR operator. Okay. Nullable Boolean logical operator there is. I think we don't need that. Okay. There is operator precedence. Highest precedence to the lowest. So the order of the operator makes difference. Therefore, you should take them into the parentheses as you want. That is important. Okay, there are some more information, but we don't need that at the moment. So I'm going to go step by step to explain everything. Okay, you should also write every one of these code at your home, not copy paste to understand better. So we have defined A and B variables which are integer type. If A and B is equal, it will enter inside these curly brackets, this scope, and since it is not true, you see it shows as false because this condition check has failed. It is entering the else. Okay. So if is not satisfied, then it enters into the else. Okay. And it has written this to the screen because that was the command we have written here. Then it checks if A is bigger than B. And since it is also false, it is printing this onto the screen. I hate these errors. Okay, I'm going to restart. Okay, and let's continue. I have removed this breakpoint and click it continue. Okay, A is not equal to B and A is not bigger than B. Okay, then I continue. If A is bigger than or equal to false, it is not bigger or equal, then this line is printed. It is giving me errors again. Okay. I can't put a breakpoint here. Do you know why? Because this is not an assignment or initialization. This is just a definition. Therefore, I can't put a breakpoint here. But I can put a breakpoint here because this is a logical operation. Okay. Okay, we see the so far conditions. Check it. A is not bigger than or equal B. Then if A is equal to B, we have written it again. However, this time we have written it this way. Both is fine, or we can write it as this way. Okay, and now our Boolean variable is false. If BL of result is true, it will enter inside here. However, since it is false, it is passing that. If it is true, it will enter here. This scope of code, it is passing again. Then we are using unary logical negation. That means false will become true. So this will be uh, true. However, I have to read it this way. Okay. Okay. And okay, once again, the debug is giving me errors. I'm going to delete all debug and here. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, you see this time it is written as false. Okay, correct. And it is checking again as false. You see this is equal to this one. Okay, because we are negating the true result with when we negate it, it becomes false. Okay, let's continue to here. Okay, so I am defining as false the passage, and when we negate it, it is printed as true, and when we negate it true, it is printed as false. However, this is really annoying. I wonder what causes this. I can't go on. When I pause it, let's just restart. Okay, let's just get to this point. Okay, you see true and false is printed as expected. Then we are going to use AND operator for true and false. What do you expect to be printed? Let's see. I will just go to here. Okay. You see, when you use AND operator with true and false, it is false. When you use AND operator with OR operator, actually this is, so that is why it was incorrect. I am going to just go to this point to check every one of them. Okay, so we can check them. Okay, so when you use AND operator, true and false becomes false. When you use OR operator, true and false becomes true, as expected. When you use XOR, if they are same, the result is false. If they are different, the result is true, as you can see. Oh, and you see true and true results. I think here. Okay, I see we have some string error here. So this is false and false. Okay, false, true, true, false, correct. Okay, so we have written it incorrectly everywhere. Okay, also false and false, false and false. Let's run it again. Okay, so when AND operator is applied, it expects both of them to be true to generate true result. Okay, so let's type it here. Not false, true. This is what is the result of this? Result is false because they are same. Okay, and result is true. Result is true. This is XOR operator. This is logical AND. And what do you expect? This is true. This is false. This is also false, and this is also false. Okay. Why? Because since this is AND operator, it expects both of them to be true, to be true. Let's check it out. here you see only the first one is true, true, true results true, true, false is false, false, true is false, and false, false is false. Okay, and let's write the OR operator. Okay, so if one of the side is true, it will result as true. So true, true, and only the last one is false. Let's check it here. You see true and true is true, true and false is true, false and true is true, and false is false. Okay. Then there is logical and operator. Okay. So what do you expect to see here? When true and true is true, true and false is false, false and true is false, and false is true. So what is the difference between and? Okay, it is being hard to say. Yeah, I think yeah, I wonder if there is any difference between. Okay, okay, so okay, I think this is a good example. I will show it. With Boolean operations, and versus and doesn't make difference. Okay, or if or operator, it is still same, behaving same. However, for other operations, it makes difference. How come? Let's show it with different types. Int equal to, let's say, okay, yeah. So if I write it like this, if okay, length bigger than 4 and let's say 3 equal to 4. Okay, and I will say that why this is impossible, because its length is 3 and it doesn't have an index of 3 because its last index is 2. And then I'm going to use this method and let's see if what difference there will be. Okay, so it has given me index was outside of the bound of the array. Why? Because it checks the both side whether they are true or not. Actually, the first condition is not satisfied. However, it is still checking the right condition. Why is that? Why is that? Because uh, the AND operator is using uh, oh, there is two operation type, bitwise and let's say another type. Okay, so this fails. Okay. However, and actually this is a Boolean type, so this is not the correct one. Let's try this way. Okay, uh, let me explain to you. Let's debug and see why this throws an error. Okay, I'm going to put a breakpoint here. Okay, so we are at this line. When I click step into, okay, I think it checks both of them, or will the order make any difference? I wonder that. Yes, okay, this fails in either way. So this will crash our application because it checks both sides of the, let's say, logical operation. However, this below will work fine because since the first uh, condition is not met, the second condition will not be checked, and in the second condition there is an error. The error is IR array 1 doesn't have index 3 because it has 3 elements. Okay. So when you try to access an index of an array which is not exist, it will throw you an array. So I want to test something else here, and let's make it like this: 3 and 3 equal to and 3. Let's make it 3 and 4. Let's see what kind of result it generates. And then this way. Okay. Okay, it says that and cannot be applied to int and int. And let's try this. Okay, this can be applied, and can this be applied? Okay, this also doesn't work on integers. So let's see the result of these two. When you add 3 and 4, what do you expect? Okay, 3 and 4 result is 0. 3 or 4 result is 7. Okay, this is uh, interesting. Why? Because AND is a bitwise operator, therefore it behaves like this. How does it behave? It behaves like this. Let me show you what I mean. Uh, in bitwise, okay, 3 is represented as 0, 0, 0, and this will be 1 and 1. Why? Because it is equal to 0, actually starts from 1 to over. Is equal to plus 1 multiply 1 plus plus. Okay, so this will make you stance if you carefully follow me. So this is the bitwise representation of 3 in how many bytes? In 4 bytes. Okay, in 4 bytes, this is the bitwise representation. And let's see the bitwise representation of 4, which is this. Okay, so it is becoming like this, this, and this. So when you bitwise or and actually 0, 0, 1, 1 and 0, 1, 0, 0, what would you expect? It would be like this. When you and 0, it becomes, let's start from here, or no, from here. When you 0 and 1 and, okay, let me type it inside here. So I think I will write it like this. What do you expect? From 1 and 0, you will get, let's start from here, doesn't matter. From 0 and 0, when you end them, 0. 0 and 1 ended 0. 1 and 0 equals 0. 1 and 0 equals 0. So bitwise, when you end these and these, you get these, because when their bits are put into the AND operation, they are all 0. However, when we do this for OR operation, okay, let's type it. The thing how we calculate them changes. When you OR 1 and 0, it is 1. When you OR 1 and 0, it is 1. When you OR 1 and 0, it is 1. So the result becomes 0, 1, 1, 1, which is equal to 1, 1, 1, and 0 equal to 7. That is why this operation product is 7 and this operation product is 0. Okay, try to understand this. Numbers are represented in bits, everything represented as bits in the computer. That is why I have wanted from you to watch this video series, because it explains all of this stuff extremely well. Let me open it again so you may watch after this lecture. Computer science playlist. Here. Let's download it, open it. Okay, when I double click it, it will open that playlist.
Hello, world.
And on this playlist, if you check I'm trying to find which course was it. Binary, okay, binary. If you check this video, which is the fifth video of the playlist, you will understand extremely well how numbers are represented. Okay, you see, this is the how numbers or everything is represented as binary in the computer logic, and this is their bitwise representation. Okay, let's open it here. So this is the bitwise representation of numbers. You can also change the subtitle from here, and yes, they have English. Okay, if you choose English, you will see the subtitle of the video. Okay, so this is why bitwise this products 0 and result 7 as bitwise. Okay, so what else there is for logical operations? Okay, I think we have seen everything for now. So when I am doing a conditional operation check, I always use and I use or. Okay, I never use and or because they are different when you use for different checks. Their purpose is different. I wonder if will this work for integer. Let's try it. 3, 4, 3, 4. Okay, it looks like working. So this will be the bitwise OR. XOR. So what would you expect from this? I think it is easy to calculate. Let's calculate it. Okay, I'm going to put this here. So for XOR, what do you expect? When they are same, we get 0, false. Okay, false. I mean, when they are different, we get 1, and when they are different, same, we get 0. So bitwise, this would produce this. Do you remember the bitwise? When they are true, true, the result is false. When they are false, false, the result is false. So when they are different, the result is true. So this would print as 7. We can check it out. You see, it is 7. However, let's say when we bitwise, I have hit Control key and D at the same time, so it is automatically formatted. So I'm going to bitwise 3, 3. What would be the result of this? This will be 0. Okay. And when I XOR and 3, 3, this will be 3. And when I OR 3, 3, this would be 3. Okay. So let's run it again to verify. Okay, so this is 0, this is 3, and this is also 3. Okay, so you get the idea, bitwise operations. After you watch this video, you will have more understanding of it, and so you have seen all of the operations. Next week, I will continue from uh, these loops. Okay, I'm going to note it. We have seen the indexes. Let's sleep if else conditions. We have seen that. We have seen these as well. Okay, okay. So this week we have shown, what did we show? We have shown let's see their names. And okay, there is also nullable Boolean logical operators. So when you do nullable Boolean logical operators, let's see if there is any example. Okay, we know that. When they are both, okay, when you, oh, this is important. So let's do this as well. This is important because you may also encounter this. When you, I think you can't, or this, oh, okay, yes. Because this is not bitwise. True and null. And let's check false and null. Null, okay. And we'll copy paste this. True and null. And one more time. XOR. Since this is bitwise, how does it behave bitwise? Let's check it out. Okay, bitwise with null is underlined. Okay, so true and null is true because one side is true. False and null is null. True and null is null. False and null is false. And true, and I wonder if the order makes difference. So let's check it too. Okay. And let's check it for and. Okay, with XOR, probably it is not using. Okay, the result of expression is always null. Yeah, this doesn't work. Probably the opposite will also not work. Yes. Null is not a value in C#. Okay, so you need to understand how null behaves. Okay, so true and null is true, false and null is null, null and true is null, true, null and false is null, true and null is. Actually, I am going to repeat again. True or null is true, false or null is null, null, null or true is true, null or false is null, true and null is null, false and null is false, null and true is null, null and false is false, and for XOR operation everything is null. So when you see nothing here, it means it is null. Okay, and console write line handles it as empty character. When null is parsed with console write line, it parses as empty character. Okay. Empty character and space character are not same. How come? If equal to this. So this is actually the print output of null, and this is the print output of space character. Okay, for this week, this is enough. We have composed a Discord channel for you, and from there you can ask questions. Please do that. I hope my new microphone sound is better. Hopefully, when I get a new sound card, I will have a better voice, even better voice. Please ask me any questions, anything that you didn't understand, you can't understand. Please watch the videos slowly with pausing, and please do all the coding yourself, not just copy paste from our GitHub repository. If you just do copy paste, you will not learn it, you will not get used to it. Okay, please do that, and I'm going to, okay. Not I'm going to do that at the moment. Okay. So okay, course 5 is arrived. Please not just copy paste from here or just download and use it. Please write yourself, code yourself. This will make you to learn much better. This is a grand mistake that new students are doing. Please write everything yourself, okay? Not just select, copy, and paste. With that way, you will not understand, you will not learn. Okay, end of lecture. Hopefully, see you next week.